I stumbled upon this video recently. I thought it was absolutely great. So true and honest. And I recommend that you follow this individual. I'll put the name of the YouTube channel below. But it's true. I'm one of those people that lives a very sad existence. No bedroom even, no car, no job, no unemployment. Just surviving off, the donations of my friends. Looking to get a job which is literally under the minimum wage for Denver. It's a suburb of Denver that I'm looking and hoping to get this job, which will not even enable me to have the necessities of life.
But life in America just is kind of sad. And the average life of the average American person is just sad. It just is. It's a life of little to no purpose. It's a life with little to no family. It's a life of little to no friends. There just isn't much for people in America. Can you eat well? Yeah. Is there plenty of restaurants and fast food that you can go to? Yeah. Can you afford to go to them if you're an average American? Probably not. And if you do, you're probably just going to be using your credit card. Life in America is sad. It just is. And it's a shame because there's such beautiful places in this country, but nobody even goes to them. And I know that that's not something that's atypical. Anywhere I've traveled into the world, out there, right? Getting out there. The most beautiful places, the people who are from there, the natives, right? The denizens of these countries, they never actually go to these places. Like, I can't tell you how many people I met in Athens that never went to the Acropolis. No, it's pretty famous that if you're from New York City, you've never gone to the Statue of Liberty, right? They avoid Times Square like the plague. And we just avoid places, the places, the notable places that are key to where we're from. We just avoid them. So what that means is people in America just kind of stay in their houses, right? They come home from work, have a little bit of money, maybe order DoorDash, get overpriced slop from a local restaurant or fast food place, and then just sit inside and watch Netflix. Right? Watch Amazon Prime, catch up on the latest show, go online, watch people complain about it. Welcome. This was what American life is. This is what life is here. You don't go out there and do things anymore. It's like people in their early 20s maybe will go out there and do some stuff. Maybe very few. It seems that way. It seems like those are the only people that are doing it. Getting out there and living life in America, if you're older, just seems to be you're living in a van now, right? You're RVing it across the country, and that's life. You've become homeless. Living an adventurous life in America is just being homeless. It's a sad place. But I mean, because we're people who aren't represented in our culture. Our media sucks now. The movies suck now. When's the last time a movie came out and created a new fandom, right? That people wanted to get behind. And this is it now, I love a good fandom, right? Star Wars kid. Love it. Love Game of Thrones. That was great. Read all the books. Harry Potter was a big one for my brothers. For my wife, she loves Harry Potter. But that's it though. I mean, what is it to have a life in America? Really? What is it? That old idea of growing up, getting a job, having a house, having kids, having family, having a wife, white picket fence. That's dead. Nobody wants that anymore. Nobody wants it anymore because the things that come attached to it now. What is it? Divorce rates are 90% in America, right? Kids hate their parents. Elders aren't respected. Insurance rate and property taxes just go through the roof. So, you're just always going to be, and if you are an elderly person on Social Security or something like that, because those costs keep going up, what life do you even have to live at that point?
Insure your passion. Here's how to start a boat quote. Just go to progressive.com/boat. Then get protected.
An average life for an average American is sad. It's just sad. That's why I argue personally, the best life an American can have isn't even in America. It's abroad. Full stop. Right? If you're wealthy, yeah, you can have a great life in America. If you're upper middle class, you can have a good life in America, yeah. But if you're like an average, we're talking about the average person in America, right? Making like 40, 50K a year, if you're lucky. Your job security doesn't exist anymore. Layoffs happening all over the place. Things are getting more expensive. The average American, what life can you have? You know, you're not in the rat race anymore. You're just on the hamster wheel, the unending hamster wheel where there's no brakes. The rat race is dead. The hamster wheel is thriving. And that's what Americans live on, the hamster wheel. And you got to jump off at some point. And the only way to jump off is to just be like, screw it. You know, I'm going on welfare. I'm going on unemployment, because that's the only break you can actually get in life now, is going on unemployment. Or you could just bail. Leave the country. Honestly, it's a good life. Outside of the States, it's a good life. If you're someone who's on a fixed income, or man, even if you can hustle a little bit online, maybe do some content creation, and get a few $1,000s a month together, you can have a great life somewhere else. Like I said, the best place to be an American isn't in America. It's not. And people are like, well, people don't want Americans. Shut up. Shut up. People don't care. If you're a decent person, you're fine. It doesn't matter. No one cares about where you're from, right? I've never been to a place where they're like, oh, you're an American? You better get out of here. That never happens. The people who say that are just bitter people, or people who've never traveled, who are scared to actually live a life, you know, comfortable in the bullshit hamster wheel that they've been on, you know, afraid to make a change. Not everyone's afraid to make a change. Some people just don't know where to go. Some people just don't know what path to take. Some people don't even know there is another path. And that's because of fear. We are afraid to make changes. We are. Because it's beaten into us that if we move away from what's expected of us, right? And that pressure point that society puts on us, that it's all going to fall apart, that we can't make it. We can't succeed. We can't thrive. We can't have a good life. We're going to end up on drugs and homeless. Our families are going to hate us, right? We're going to be one of the dredges. No one's going to care. And no one cares anyway. That's the thing. Because life in America is sad. No one cares. No one cares because everyone's so wrapped up in just trying to survive here. Like I said, the average American. What life do we have here? You want to travel? You want to go in debt? Have you tried to travel around America? Tried to go on a road trip now? You know how much that costs just to do a road trip in America now? Right? Even if you're, let's say, what, $150 a night in a hotel, $100 in gas. You know, food when you travel is expensive unless you're making it on your own. So, well, like roughly $300 a day. Right, what are you going to go on a 10-day road trip? 60-70% of America doesn't have $1,000 saved up. So who's going to be spending $3,000 a month to go on a nice road trip? And that's like covering the bare essentials, the minimum, right? You can't do anything because life here is sad. Because you're not supposed to have fun anymore. You're not supposed to have an adventure. You're not supposed to have a life. That's all it is. You're not supposed to have a life. The focuses in change that we want in America are just to make people work more, right? That's all it is. Everyone just wants to make work more of a center of their life. Get away from it. Work sucks. It steals your life from you. And the wages that we make make marginal improvement to our life. Just make sure that we're not homeless. Because that's what life in America is to the most normal American person, is just making sure that you don't become homeless. Your everyday struggle is about stopping yourself from being homeless. That's why so many people hit a certain age and they're just like, screw this, right? I'm tired of renting. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of building nothing. I'm just going to go live in my van because that makes sense. And you know what? It does make sense. That's the thing. And as much as I hate that, right, it does make sense, right? I was lucky enough that like I have enough of an income that I can go ahead and live in other places and I'll be just fine.